Good people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Be careful down in the comment section of the videos. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money from my subscribers, so please be careful. Don't get yourself scammed. If you want to follow me when I'm not on YouTube, I'm going to ask you to go down to the description box, click on that Instagram link. It's Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor Instagram link. And give me a follow and then send me a DM to let me know you're rocking with me so I can say thank you. The old Instagram page, Richard Fain 28, is no longer available. That page doesn't exist anymore. The new one is Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor. And like I said, guys, if you want to follow me when I'm not on YouTube, you got to go down to the description box and click on that link. I only have one Instagram page. Let me just clear that up because I've gotten a couple of DMs on Instagram from some of you guys saying, hey, Richard, do you got one page? Do you got 3 pages? Do you got 10 pages? I got 1 page. I don't need 2 pages. I don't need 3 pages. That's just impersonating scammers. So those are people who go to Instagram, crooks, scammers. They go to Instagram, they clone legitimate pages. Now, they don't take over my page. They just simply clone it, right? They got computer software where they can clone it and they just create a duplicate one. And then what they do is they go to my followers and they start DMing my followers like they're me, but they're not. Now, a lot of people will say, well, Richard, hey, get the blue check mark. Guys, I've tried. Instagram just does, even if you pay for it, they don't just give you the blue check mark anymore. Now you got to be on a wait list. So they says, okay, Instagram, I want the blue check mark. I'll pay you the money every month to have it so that my followers can be protected. Nuh-uh. Now you got to get on a wait list just to pay them to get the blue check mark. So I'm doing what I can, guys. So anybody that's following me on Instagram, understand I have one Instagram account. That's it. I do not need 2, 3, 4, 5 Instagram accounts. And if someone is contacting you, just DMing you out of the blue, remember, guys, I don't DM people that follow me. I don't initiate the DM. Now, if someone DMs me, and then of course I respond back, but I don't just go through my followers and say, oh, today I'm just going to DM this person. I don't do that. So if anybody's DMing you claiming to be Richard Fain, they're lying to you. So please just be careful on Instagram. It's a great platform. I love being on there, but unfortunately it's a breeding ground for scammers. And like I said, they clone my account and then they start DMing my followers. So just be careful if you decide to follow me on Instagram, which I hope you do. Like I said, the description box, the Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor Instagram link is the safest way to do it. Just click on that link. It takes you directly to my only page. There ain't no 2 pages. There ain't no backup page. No backup to the backup page. None of that. Right? So please be careful. Now, you just got to understand what's happening over there, but it's happening on every platform, right? It's happening on Facebook. It's happening on TikTok. It's just, this is what scammers do. They take legitimate pages, they clone them, and then they start, sending messages to that particular creator's followers. So just be careful if you do decide to follow me, which I hope you do. Second thing, website, www.richardfain.net. That's another thing. Richard Fain only has one website. I don't have 3 different websites, guys. I got one website and it's in my description box of the video. See, that's the thing, guys. If you're going to contact me, please go to the description box of the videos. That's the only way you can contact me. If anybody sends you anything outside of that description box, don't click on it. I will not send you messages. I will not email you out of the blue. Go down to the description box, click on the website link, second link. That's the only website I have. It's www.richardfain.net. I don't have any other websites other than that one, and it's in my description box, right? So if you want to check out the new website, which a lot of you guys already have, over 150,000 of you guys have already went over to the website and checked it out. A lot of you guys have made an investment in yourself and picked up those wonderful digital products that I handpicked. And those digital products basically encompass my entire YouTube channel. All 1,100 videos I have on my YouTube channel are bundled up in those 10 digital products, right? Everything from credit repair, credit restoration, increase your credit score, all the way to how to invest in the stock market. All of that stuff that I talk about on my YouTube channel is in those 10 digital products. So if you want more information about, hey, Richard, I don't even know the basics about how to invest in the stock market, go to the website. There's a digital product that can walk you through the basic mechanics. It'll tell you what you need to know, right? So that's why I'm saying use the website as an extension of me. I get it. Everybody can't watch the videos. They're busy with their lives. They're taking care of kids. They're doing whatever they do in their lives, and they can't always watch videos. I get that. That's why the website is there, because it's there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's my website. This is not some website, some back-end guy partnered with me and said, okay, Richard, you be the face of this thing and we're going to run all the back end and do all, I don't play those kind of games. I don't even partner with people like that. This is my website that was created by my daughters. My two oldest daughters created this website for me, and they're a part of it with me. That's it. I don't partner with nobody to do nothing. That's not my thing here on YouTube. My thing is provide value through my videos every day. And then an extension of these videos and me is my website, where you can find more value, more detailed value, more structured value, because I'm not going to sit on the channel, guys, and tell you the history of the stock market and everything. That's not my cup of tea. That's why the website's there. So if you want to know all the mechanics, go to the website and you can get the mechanics step by step of investing in real estate with little or no money down. I'm not going to spend a whole day on the YouTube channel talking about that. But if you want to know how to do that, go to the website. There's a product there that takes you step by step what you need to do. And then all you got to do is execute, right? So get over to the website, www.richardfain.net. Check out those digital products. Second link down in the description box. And then while you're there, make sure you check out the membership club, the mentorship club, right? That's the way I mentor about 600 folks already we have on in the mentorship club. And again, it ain't just me, guys. It's all 600 of us. And we all are really looking out for one another on our financial journey. See, the thing is about this mentorship club that I think people gotta recognize, and the 600 people that are in there recognize this. Out here in this real world, guys, there ain't a lot of people building wealth. Not in the 99%ers like us. Now, the 1%, of course, they're in a whole nother atmosphere, right? But 99% of the people here, we're not here to build wealth. We don't know how to build wealth. So if you're out here by yourself alone, trying to figure this thing out on your own, build wealth on your own, and you're expecting somebody out here that ain't building wealth to support you, you're missing the boat. They're not going to support you because they don't understand it. So why do you need a group like we got over here in the mentorship club? Because all 600 of these people understand where you're coming from, because they're headed in the same direction. They all come from different walks of life. Men, women, all walks of life, right? They come from all walks of life. Some of them have some financial literacy. Some of them don't have financial literacy, right? Some of them are young. Some of them are older. But one thing we got in common over there in that mentorship club, we're all going in the same direction, and that's freedom. That's financial freedom. And we're there to encourage and help one another get there. See, I'd much rather be in a group of people who are headed in the same direction that's going to encourage me and uplift me and provide me with helpful financial information than to be out here all alone by myself with nobody to help me. Nobody to help me, because most people are not going in the direction you're going. Most people are instant gratification. They don't know how to delay gratification. That's what we teach over here in this mentorship club. We teach how to live on less than what you make. We teach you how to live on a plan. We teach you how to stay out of consumer debt. And we teach you how to save and invest and get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. If you're interested in that, that's where you need to be. Join that mentorship club and then immerse yourself in this culture that we're building over there. I'm telling you, if you go over there and you get in the community chat, if you become a really participatory in the posts that are being made on there, and then of course, we do the Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, private live stream Q&A where, we're going to have members in there. Everybody's asking questions. I'm going to be doing the rapid fire Q&As. That's the only place I do that, guys. I don't do it on YouTube anymore. I don't do it on Instagram. I don't do it on Facebook. I only do it in the private mentorship group. Why? Because I'm trying to build a culture over here. We are trying to build a culture. It ain't just me. It's 600 of us, and we're growing. We're building a financial nation over there. A financial nation where everybody has a fair opportunity to get to their pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I'm going to make sure of that. And the rest of those other 600 people are going to make sure of it. So if you're out here alone in this world over here, what people ain't really trying to, well, how do you know people ain't trying to build wealth, Richard? Why? Because 150 million Americans don't have retirement savings. You ain't got to be a rocket scientist to figure out that, guys. You got 150 million people. No retirement savings. We have $1.3 trillion in credit card debt. Almost $2 trillion in car loan debt. We got 70% of people living paycheck to paycheck. So this is where you're getting your advice or your consulting. Good luck. I'd rather be over here where a group of people who are trying their very best to get their financial house in order. And they're starting to invest in assets. That's the great thing about it. They're starting to invest in assets, guys. They're investing in assets that will change the landscape of their financial life. And they're doing it over a long period of time. Now, we got some people who have different things that they're trying to get accomplished in their financial life, and that's okay. We ain't robots over there. Everybody is individuals. Everybody got their own financial freedom. I sent a post out this morning before I got on this call to everybody to just say, hey guys, let's be crystal clear. We all should have our financial plan in action. Whatever it is, whatever that financial plan is, you should be executing it right now because we got 10-year window to really, really get this thing done for a lot of us. And I told him, hey, if you don't have your plan together and you're confused about your plan, send me a direct message on the Discord and let's talk about it. And I will help you get a plan together. Also, ask some of your fellow club members, hey, what's your plan? What are you getting done? You can ask those questions over there, guys, and people will chime in and be honest. That's the whole point of it. So let's get going here. Get over to the website, check out the digital products, www.richardfain.net. If you want to get around a group of people, if you want me to be on your gang of 5, if you want me to be on your financial team, if you want to be mentored by me and these other 600 wonderful folks we have over there in the club, come on, join us, man. We welcome new faces. We welcome new participants. We welcome others who are chasing freedom just like we chasing it. We welcome it. It's tough out here by yourself, guys. It's tough out here by yourself. Join a group of people who are going in the same direction with you and got some financial love for you. All right? Last thing, Moo, my self-directed brokerage app that I'm using over the next 10 years to triple my net worth. If you're interested in using the same brokerage app that I use, go down to the description box and click on that Moo link. It's the first link. Now, Moo is going to give you 5 free stocks when you deposit $100 in your new brokerage account. They'll give you 15 free stocks when you deposit $1,000 in your new brokerage account. Again, guys, you got to make these deposits when you open the account, right? You can't open the account and let it be dormant for 60 days and then try to come back and put a, and Richard never got my, no, well, you're not gonna get them because it's a limited time offer. Here's the offer. You get 5 free stocks when you put $100 in ASAP. You get 15 free stocks when you put $1,000 in ASAP. Now, please be aware of this. The free stocks will be locked. They will not unlock the free stocks until, one, you are using the brokerage account. These folks are not giving you free stock to open a brokerage account, put $100 in it, get your 5 free stocks right away, and then all of a sudden you sell the free stock, turn it into cash, make a transfer out, and then close the account. That's not happening. So they do put a lock-in period on those free stocks. But hey, if you're there for the right reasons, the lock-in period won't matter. The real reason you would be opening the brokerage account is because you want to buy paper assets to build wealth. Those are the only people I need clicking on my link. People that are looking to build wealth through paper assets, right? So if you're looking to build wealth through buying big boy blue chip paper assets, get down to the description box, click on that Moo link, get you some free stocks, but better yet, now you got a really good self-directed brokerage app to build wealth through paper assets. And also, I'm going to send you, if you send me an email and you say, Richard, I opened my Moo account. I put some money in it. I know I'm going to get those free stocks, but really I need those tutorial videos so that I can learn how to use this app to buy paper assets to continue building my wealth. I'm going to send you those tutorial videos that were done by Moo. Now, you might be able to go on the app and find them yourself, but why do all of that when I'm going to send them directly to you to collapse time frames and free up some time for you so you can get started right away? I'm going to send you that if you send me an email through my website, www.richardfain.net. Send me an email through the website. Better yet, I'm going to send you my Wealth Transfer Blueprint 1.0, 2.0, where it outlines exactly what I'm buying over the next 10 years, paper assets to build my wealth. Matter of fact, to triple my net worth. If you want to see what I'm doing, I'll send that to you with those other videos. All you got to do is email me through my website, www.richardfain.net. Well, all right, guys, let's get moving. We got a lot of meat and potatoes to get into. Let me just paint the stage for you before we dive into this information. So this week, 2 important things happening. Fed meeting, FOMC meeting, which is concluding today. It'll be done today. It started yesterday. It'll conclude today. 2:00 p.m. it's done. 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Federal Reserve Chairman is going to have his press conference. And then he's going to tell the world, you and me and the rest of the world, what direction they're going with interest rates. That's extremely important, right? Because when interest rates are up, assets are down, right? Interest rates are down, assets go up. That's my opinion. You go out and do your own research. If you disagree with it, that's okay. So that's the number one thing I want you to think about. Fed concluding their meeting today and going to give us some direction on interest rates. The second thing that was happening this week that has already happened and we're going to talk about today is inflation. The May CPI inflation report came out this morning. And hallelujah, we had some good news. So that's 2 months in a row. We've had positive good news about inflation going down. That's extremely important, guys. So we're going to talk about that and we're going to unpack the inflation report and what I believe is going to be happening going forward. All right. So that's what we're going to tackle this morning, the inflation report. Now, the Fed and the inflation report, in my opinion, have made it really easy for us to position ourselves to get wealthy, to transfer some wealth, right? Well, what do you mean, Richard? How does that happen? Well, I told you when interest rates come down, assets go up. Why is the Fed not reducing interest rates? Because they're waiting to see if inflation is going to continue going down. Now they've just gotten their second report in a row, April and May, that says inflation is still going down. That strengthens the case for the Fed to reduce interest rates. I think we'll hear some positive forward guidance this afternoon when the Fed chair does his press conference. because of this report. That's 2 months in a row, right? So that's why I think over this next course of 6 or 7 months, if we continue to make progress, rates will continue to come down, inflation will continue to go down, and assets will be cut loose to be able to go up more than they are today. If you looked at the S&P 500 this morning, guys, just based off of that inflation report, let's take a look at what the S&P is doing. Just off the inflation report, and we're going to talk a little more about that later, but I just want to give you an idea. You have an S&P 500 right now, guys, at 5,439 points. This thing is finna hit 5,500 points, guys. That was the projection to hit 5,500 points at the end of the year. It may hit it today. Do you know what that means? Come on, guys. Come on. What do you think is going to happen when these rates start coming down? If just the anticipation of rates coming down is already got the S&P at almost 5,500 points, just the anticipation, what do you think going to happen when it actually happens? I'm telling you guys, just my opinion. You go ahead and figure out what you want to figure out. But I'm super duper excited about what's ahead of us. I'm super excited about what's ahead of us. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. Let's go through this inflation report, and then we're going to talk about what I believe are going to be some things we can look forward to capitalizing on as we build this wealth, right? This wealth transfer blueprint over the next 10 years in order to do what? Multiply our net worth, right? Have more time, more freedom, and more choices in our life. I wouldn't want to work for somebody for the rest of my life. The only way I don't work for somebody for the rest of my life is I got to have assets that generate income, right? And inflation going to help us do that. Fed going to help us do that. We got to position ourselves and be ready, locked and loaded to take advantage of this thing, right? Right? We got to be locked and loaded. I guarantee you the 1% locked and loaded. Promise you they locked and loaded. I guarantee you Nancy Pelosi locked and loaded. Old Nancy done got rich in the stock market, boy. Old Nancy done got rich. Old Nancy put in $5 million in December 2023 in Nvidia. And about 4 or 5 months later, she exited and made $4 million on Nvidia. That's crazy, but that's the 1%. Why? Because see, they don't be around here fooling around and acting afraid and 1%, they lock and load and they go get theirs. That's what we got to do. So let's go through this inflation report. Inflation slows in May. I love that word slow in front of inflation, right? Or after inflation. I love that word slow in front or after, or front or behind inflation, right? I love it. So inflation slows in May with consumer prices up 3.3% from a year ago. Here we go. The Consumer Price Index, aka CPI, showed no increase in May as inflation slightly loosened its stubborn grip on the U.S. economy, the Labor Department reported Wednesday. The CPI is a broad inflation gauge that measures a basket of goods and services across the U.S. economy, held flat on the month, though it increased 3.3 from a year ago, according to the department's Bureau of Labor Statistics. But we're gonna break that down, so don't worry about that, guys. We're gonna break it down. It's raining pretty bad here, so hopefully I don't lose no connection on you guys on the live. But let's go. Economists surveyed by Dow Jones had been looking for a 0.1% monthly gain and a 3.4% annual rate. So what happens is, prior to these reports coming out, the experts give their prediction. So in this case, the experts said, okay, month over month increase in inflation, 0.1% we're comfortable with. Year over year, 3.4% increase we're okay with. That's what the experts wanted for what they call headline inflation. Okay? Excluding volatile food and energy prices, core inflation, that's when they take out energy prices and they take out food prices because they're very volatile, right? They take those out and they call it core. CPI increased by 0.2 on the month and 3.4 from a year ago, compared to respective estimates of 0.3 and 3.5. So right there, guys, on core, we beat expectations. The expectation was 0.3 month over month, right? And 3.5 year over year. We came in at 0.2 month over month and 3.4 year over year. So we beat those expectations in core. That's awesome. That's good news. That's good news for the Fed, right? The Fed loves that good news right there, because that means interest rates, where they're at today, are forcing inflation down, so there's no need to increase them. Where you got it at right now is doing the job, no need to increase them right now. That's good news, right? So let's keep moving. So the economists, let's keep moving here. So following the report, stock market futures pushed higher while treasury yields slid. So here's the thing. Anytime investors feel like the stock market is volatile, we don't have any direction, they will pull their money out of the stock market and move it to safety. Normally, safety is going to be money market accounts and U.S. Treasuries. So when you see U.S. Treasury interest rates go up, that means there are more money from investors flowing to safety. When you see them go down, that means there's money flowing out of treasuries back to the market, back to paper assets, right? So that's what's happening. So with this positive news this morning from the CPI inflation report, more money flowed towards investments instead of treasuries. That's what happens, right? Though the top line inflation numbers were lower for both the all items and core measures, shelter inflation increased 0.4% on the month and was up 5.4 from a year ago. Housing related numbers have been a sticking point in the Federal Reserve's inflation bottle and make up a heavy share of the CPI weighting. It makes up 1/3 of the CPI weighting, shelter costs. So that's still one that is still sticky. That's a tough one, right? Now we beat expectations and headline was 3.4% year over year was the estimate. We came in at 3.3. On core, it was 3.5 estimate. We came in at 3.4. So on both of those we beat, but shelter still remains stubborn. It still remains stubborn, and it's higher year over year than the Fed would like it, right? So housing related numbers have been a sticky point in the Federal Reserve's inflation battle and make a heavy share of the CPI weighting. Price increases were held in check, though, by a 2% drop in the energy index and just a 0.1 increase in food. So energy prices dropped 2%, food 1%. Not 1%, but 0.1%. Within the energy component, gas prices tumbled 3.6%. I can see that at the pump here in Florida where I normally get my gas. It went down. So this 3.6% makes sense. Another needlesome inflation component, motor vehicle insurance, saw a 0.1% monthly decline. So even automobile insurance slightly came down month to month, which is not bad, right? We'll take it. Though was still up more than 20% on the year. So we already know that if you got a car, no matter where you live in the country, you probably have experienced an increase in your 6 months or your annual premium for your auto insurance. I know in Florida, since we've had all these hurricanes over the last few years, it drastically went up. Mine is almost doubled on each one of my cars. It is what it is, right? Right? It is what it is. But I like to see at least month over month it's starting to slide down a little bit. That's good news. That's good news. Finally, some positive surprises as both headline and core inflation beat forecasts. That's positive, guys. That's good news for the Fed. And I believe this afternoon at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, you will see the Fed in a dovish posture, not a hawkish posture. They'll be in a dovish posture because I think you got 2 months in a row of CPI inflation reports that's saying it's coming down. Now, we got a PCE report that'll be coming out at the end of the month for May. Remember, our last PCE report in April was a good one. It wasn't spectacular, but it was good. So we can get another PCE report, which is the main report the Fed uses to gauge inflation, the PCE report. If we can get one at the end of this month for May, then we may have an opportunity in September, maybe even in July, maybe to get a rate cut. Just my speculation, guys, but I like this. Now, some of y'all might say, well, golly, the labor report came in, the jobs report came in last Friday, and it was super, super high. That's going to offset this. I disagree. Even though we added more jobs than we expected in May, guess what did happen in our favor? Unemployment went up. And I think unemployment, the increase in unemployment is more important to the Fed than the jobs that were added. That's what I think. Because even though you add 262,000 jobs, unemployment still goes up. I think unemployment is more important to the Fed than the number of jobs added. So I don't think that report last Friday, the jobs report, was all bad because we had an uptick in inflation, not inflation, but unemployment. So I think we're good there. And now you get a second report in a row for CPI. If you get a second report in a row for PCE, I think we're in good shape. We're in good shape, but we'll know this afternoon when we get this press conference. We'll know where the Federal Reserve's head is at this press conference this afternoon. But I think this was a fantastic report. I think it definitely underscores the Fed reducing rates sometime this year. I definitely think this report has put us back in the game for at least 1 or 2 rate cuts. I think so. I think so. So that's just my opinion, though. So here we go. Finally, some positive surprises as both headline and core inflation beats forecast, said Robert Frick, corporate economist with Navy Federal Credit Union. There was relief at the pump, but unfortunately, home and apartment costs continue to rise and remain the main cause of inflation. Until those shelter costs begin their long-awaited fall, we won't see major drops in CPI. That's the only thing holding us back right now, guys, is shelter cost. Shelter cost is the only thing holding us back, right? Home and apartment costs. If we can get that down, we're clearly on our way to 2% inflation. But that's the sticky point. And it has been since July of 2023. That has been the sticky point right there. But I don't think that stops the Fed from reducing, because we already know housing shelter cost has a long lag before it catches up with everything else. So it could be next year sometime before shelter cost completely comes down to help get us down to 2%, because it has a long lag behind everything else. So I don't think the Fed will not do anything because of that. The release comes at an important juncture for the economy as the Federal Reserve weighs its next moves on monetary policy, which will be based heavily on where inflation is heading. So that's what we will get today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. We will get the forward guidance where the Fed believes inflation is headed in the future today at 2:30. So if you want to know what's going on as an investor, if you can, make yourself available for that 2:30 p.m. Eastern time press conference. Just use your phone, iPad, laptop, whatever, and plug in, tap in. If you want to know what's going on, if the Fed is going to be in a dovish or a hawkish posture going into July. So here we go. Later Wednesday, the rate-setting Federal Open Market Committee, which is the FOMC, will wrap up its 2-day policy meeting. Markets widely expect the Fed to keep its benchmark overnight borrowing rate target in a range of 5.25 to 5.5. That's the Fed funds rate. That's the rate banks borrow money from each other, guys. That is not the rate we borrow money from banks. We typically borrow money from banks at the prime rate, which is 3% higher than the Fed funds rate. Okay? So that's where this when you hear them talk about the Federal Reserve's interest rate, they're talking about the rate banks borrow money from each other, and they call it the Fed funds rate. The rate we borrow money from banks is based on the prime rate, which is 300% higher, or 3% higher than the Fed funds rate. All right. So following the CPI release, let's go back. Markets widely expect the Fed to keep its benchmark overnight borrowing rate target in the range of 5.25 to 5.5, but will be looking for clues about where the central bank is heading. So that's what you're going to get, guys, at 2:30. The market, investors, economists, experts, you and I are looking for the Federal Reserve Chairman to tell us or give us clues what direction they're going to be going with interest rates. That's what everybody's going to be waiting on. Now, the market jumps this morning. You get an S&P 500 almost at 5,500 points because of anticipation and enthusiasm and FOMO. So this report being really good, where we beat on headline and we beat on core, sent enthusiasm throughout the markets, which did what? Catapulted the S&P to 54 and almost 5450. Could hit 5,500 points today. Who knows? Especially if the Fed chair comes out with positive news, that thing could hit 5,500 points today. That was the prediction for it to hit 55, guys, at the end of the year. It's hitting it already at the 6-month mark. They reduced these rates, man. Who knows where it can go? I keep telling y'all, I think the S&P 500 over the next 8 years, I think it'll be 10,000 points. Because you take it from 2014 to 2024, it gained 3,000 points in those 10 years. I think over the next 8 to 10 years, it gains another 3,000 to 5,000 points. That's what I think. So Richard, how do you build wealth? I put my money in the S&P ETF, S&P 500 ETF that tracks that index. So if that index doubles over the next 10 years from 5,000 to 10,000, guess what my money does? It's going to double over the next 10 years. Simple plan, guys. I ain't trying to be no expert here. I'm just following the index. And historically, what the index has done. So if the index doubled the last 10 years, from 2014 to 2024, it doubled, more than doubled. If it doubles again, I'm going to be right in there with it, doubling my money too. That's the way I invest. That's the way I look at it. You might be different, but it's that simple for me. I don't try to be no genius. Golly, it doubled 10 years ago. Maybe it can double again in the next 10 years. You put my money in here every month and let my money double right along with it. That's what I do. That's how I multiply money and build wealth, guys. Just like that, following that simple strategy. All right, let's keep moving. Following the CPI release, the futures traders upped the chances of the Federal Reserve cutting in September, which would be the first move lower since the early days of the pandemic. See, when the pandemic hit, they dropped rates all the way down to zero. Why? They wanted to stimulate the economy. They dropped rates down to zero. They started giving out all the stimulus checks. Some people say they put about 27 trillion in. I don't know if that's true, but some guy, some prediction economist yesterday said from 2008 to 2024, the federal government has put about $27 trillion into the economy. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he said. But I know they did put a lot of stimulus in 2020 and 2021. So yeah, that's when they dropped rates to zero. And then guess what? When they put all that stimulus in, guess what it did? It triggered a what? Triggered inflation. Why did it trigger inflation? Because when you have over demand and you got limited supply, what happens to prices? They go up. That's inflation. And that's what happened. So over these last 2 years, guess what they've been trying to do? Pull that money back out of the economy to reduce prices, right, and reduce inflation. So over the last 2 years, they've been jacking up interest rates in an effort to pull that excess money out of our economy. I say it's worked. It hasn't been perfect, but it has worked because inflation has come from 9% headline down to 3.3. So it worked. Whether we like it or not, it worked. It went from 9% to 3.3%, 2 years. It worked. So Fed know what they're doing now. Oh, the Federal Reserve don't know what they're doing. They're just a bunch of crooks. No, they don't, guys. They know what they're doing. Now, don't get me wrong. What would you prefer to happen? The pandemic hit, people losing their jobs, nobody can take care of themselves. What would you prefer the government to do? Not give them anything? Just let them suffer and cause chaos in our streets and panic in our streets? We're the greatest country in the world, but we're going to let our people just sit here and starve to death? See, some of y'all want that. Oh, no, don't give them anything. Don't put any money in the economy. Well, listen, help our people. And I'm all for that. I ain't got no problem with that. If I got to pay extra to help people, take it out of my cut. I'm okay with that. I don't want our people in this great country to go without because we greedy. Stop being greedy. Help people if you can help them, right? Teach them how to fish. Don't give them a fish, but try to teach them how to fish at some point. And I know the stimulus checks was giving them a fish. I get it. I know we gave them a fish instead of teaching them how to fish. I know we gave them a fish, but sometimes you got to give them a fish. I'm just saying long term, we can't just keep giving them fish. We gave you that fish. Prepare yourself. If something like this happened again, get you some assets. You ain't got to worry about this. That's what I'm doing. See, I'm trying to prepare people by teaching them how to fish. So if we do have another one of these things hit, they got assets to help them out. They ain't got to worry about just relying on stimulus checks. Okay? That's the whole point of this thing. Help people build wealth. Get them to a point where they got assets to protect them so they don't have to make crazy decisions by going out looting and tearing up stuff because they're back against the wall. Give them a way to not have to do that. And that's what my channel is about, right? Providing people information that could hopefully get them to freedom. All right, let's keep moving. We got a lot more to cover, so let's keep moving. The market implied probability for a September reduction was about 73%. So 73% of the experts are saying September will be the first rate cut, up from 53% the day before. So yesterday it was 53% that they would rate cut in September. Now we get this positive CPI report for May, it's up 73%. That's why you see the flow of money going back to the stock market and leaving U.S. treasuries and money markets because of that optimism, right? And people want to be in position to be able to capitalize on that when rates do come down because they know the stock market is going to go higher. So what people do is say, hey, if they're going to reduce rates, let's get in now, get us a good solid position where we can make some money. So when they do reduce rates and the market goes up, we can capture up some upside. That's what a lot of investors are doing now, right? When the investors don't feel like they're cutting rates, hey, we made a little bit of profit. Let's take our money and get out of here. They ain't going to reduce rates. The market might fall. So that's what investors do. But I'm talking about big boy investors. Us, you and me, we got to stay in the market 365 days a year until we get to our pot of gold. So even if the market does go the other direction, I don't stop investing. I keep buying. I keep buying because now I'm buying these companies cheaper. And then ultimately, some point in the future, they're going to go back up in value. And that's where I make my net worth, right? So a little bit different than the big boys because they're dealing with billions of dollars. I'm dealing with hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, billions, thousands, billions, thousands. See, when you get thousands of dollars, that strategy don't work that well because you ain't going to build enough wealth. Yeah, I might make $1,000. I might make $1,500. I might make $2,000. I might be $5,000, but that's not going to take care of me for the rest of my life, guys. I need to make 10, 15, 20 times that amount to build my wealth, right? So different strategy. So here's it. So the market implied probability for a September reduction was about 73%, up from 53 the day before. According to CME Group's Fed Watch measure, the odds for a second cut in December rose about 72% after being around 50-50 on Tuesday. So as soon as this report comes out, 2 rate cuts now. See how that works? We get good news, more people flow back into the stock market. We get bad news, more people flow out of the stock market to U.S. Treasuries, and we don't get 2 rate cuts. We get 1 maybe. But that's bad news. Good news says we're going to get the rate cuts, so let's flow back. So title of the video, Fed and inflation just made it super easy to get rich. That's why. Inflation came down. I believe the Fed is going to reduce rates 2 times this year. That makes it much better for investors. All we got to do is get in the game, coach. Put me in the game, coach. Get me a brokerage account. Get me some money in there. Start buying paper assets. And wait. Right? Get down to the description box, click on that Moomoo link. Open up a Moomoo account today. Put $100 in there, get you 5 free stocks. Put $1,000 in there, get you 15 free stocks. And then send me an email through my website, www.richardfain.net. Send me an email. Let me know you've done that, and I'm going to send you some Moomoo tutorial videos, and I'm going to send you both of my wealth transfer blueprints telling you exactly what I'm doing with my money. If you want that offer, guys, get down to the description box, click on that Moomoo link, open it up today, go get that free stock, go get that free money, build you some wealth. Don't miss this opportunity. It's at hand. You can be asleep at the wheel, or you can wake up and go get this money. Let's keep moving. However, the market outlook has been volatile, and Fed officials have stressed that they need to see more than a month or 2 of positive data before easing policy. Well, okay, we'll give you another month in July. How about that? How about we give you a CPI report in July? You give you 3 months in a row. How about that, Fed? You don't like that? I think you will. I think you will. I think we're going to give you another month. I think we're going to give you June. Another June CPI inflation report that's going to be a nice one. And then what? Let's reduce. Let's get these rates reduced so we can get this thing going. All right? So here we go. You're going to need 3 months of very friendly inflation data to cut in September. What did I just tell y'all? What did I just tell you? Didn't I say we're going to give them 3 months? We're going to give you another, we're going to give you June. Just hold your horses, Fed. We're going to give you June. Then you're going to have June, May, April. And we're looking for a cut in September. We're going to the moon in September. S&P might hit 5,800 by September. It's already at 55, 54 and some change. Who thought it would be that at the beginning of this year? A lot of people thought it would be that at the end of this year, not at the 6-month mark. We're at 5,500 points basically at the 6-month mark, and we haven't even had rates come down yet. I keep telling y'all, this is the perfect opportunity, guys. It's set up so nicely for us. All we got to do is execute. We got to get the fear behind us and execute. We're not even 6 months through the year, guys. We just started June. We just started June. This is what, day 12? We ain't even at the halfway point in June, and the S&P is almost at 5,500 points. Breaking all-time highs, basically every day, every week. And we haven't even dropped rates yet. Whew. Can you imagine once we drop rates, what that thing is going to go to? I looked at my favorite individual stock this morning. My favorite individual stock, which is Nvidia. That's my favorite individual stock. Right now it's at $125.12, $125.12. It's up $4.21 today. Why? Good news. Can you imagine if we get another month of good news and we get a rate cut in September? Can you imagine what the stock price could be by the end of September? Could be $150 a share, guys. Can you imagine when they come out with their second quarter earnings, which I believe will come out in August, right? I think it'll come out in August. June, July, August. It'll come out in August. Can you imagine in August when these guys come out with their second quarter earnings, and if they go triple digit everything? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? That's all I'm saying, guys. I'm saying I don't got no crystal ball. I'm just telling you the way this mind thinks as an investor. My mind thinks like positive. My mind thinks, man, these guys have had 4 quarters of triple-digit growth. If they mess around and come out in Q2 with more triple-digit growth on top of 3 consecutive months of decreased inflation through CPI, the Fed getting ready to jump rates or boost rates down in September. Just trying to paint a picture for you guys. So if you're not invested in something paper asset wise, you may want to rethink that strategy. I may want to rethink that sitting on the sideline strategy, waiting for this catastrophic crash that some people think are going to happen. And could it happen? Yeah, it could. The good news is we always recover. Name one time in the history of the stock market we never recovered and didn't go to the moon. Give me one stretch of time, one time. I don't care if it's the 1929 crash. I don't care if it's the 1938 or 48 or whichever one it was. I don't care if it was World War II. I don't care if it was the dot-com. I don't care if it was 2008 great financial crisis. I don't care if it was pandemic. I don't care if it was 2022. S&P 500 is almost at 5,500 points. What does that tell you? It comes back, guys. And when it comes back, it's better. So what I'm telling you is if you want to build wealth and you're thinking about, hey, man, my back is against the wall. I don't know how I'm going to do it. You might want to put this paper assets thing on a short list and get yourself in a group of people who are moving in the direction you want to move to help change your mindset. That's my mentorship group through the website. Come join us, man. We got about 600 of us, strong, growing. We're going to have 1,000 people in there before the end of the year. That I can promise you. We're going to have 1,000 people in there going one direction. Before you know it, we're going to have 5,000 people in there all doing what? Loving on one another financially, helping people, encouraging people, dropping little nuggets here and there. I'm telling you guys, you want to be out here alone trying to build this wealth in this world where 150 million people don't even have retirement savings. Is that the group you want to follow? Or you want to follow a group of people who have already made up in their mind they're finna get to this freedom. They're finna get to this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They're going to live on less than what they make. They're going to live on a plan. They're going to try to keep themselves as out of consumer debt as they can. And they're going to save and invest. And they're going to do that, rinse and repeat, year after year, decade after decade if they have to, till they get to their pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Those are the type of people I want to be around. I don't want to be around these 150 million people out here who ain't got a clue what's going on. Because more than likely, they're going to try to discourage you from building wealth. Y'all know how we do. They're going to try to discourage you from building wealth. You better get yourself around some people that are going to encourage you to build wealth, not discourage you to build wealth. Get over to the mentorship group, www.richardfain.net. Second link down in the description box. Hey, man, get on over here. We're waiting on you. We're waiting on you. We're waiting on you. All right, let's finish up this CPI report, and then we're going to flow over to kind of what's going on in the stock market, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. Because I really just wanted to go through the CPI inflation report and give y'all my outlook on what I think is coming. So we left off here. You're going to need 3 months of very friendly inflation data to cut in September. I just gave y'all that. I just told you we got 2. We got April and we just got May. And if we get June, this thing going to the moon, man. I'm telling you. That's my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't got no numbers behind my name. I ain't got no letters in front of my name. I ain't got no letters behind my name. I'm just a regular, smuggler guy who's been doing this for 30 years. And has built a really, really nice net worth that I plan on tripling. See, my money where my mouth is, right? I've been doing this for a long time, guys, on my own, right? Not that you got to do it on your own. You could come over there and fellowship with us in the mentorship club. We'd love you to come over and fellowship with us. Well, you got 600 people going the same direction you going with nuggets and tips. Hey guys, this is what worked for me. This is what I'm buying. Y'all might want to check this out. Here's why I think it might be a good opportunity for some of y'all. Not over there to tell you what to do, not trying to be the expert, but just sharing best practices. Or you want to be over here with this group of people who all they want to do is keep you broke like them. The crab in a bucket mentality. Oh no, you ain't coming out this bucket. Get down here with me. No, we ain't letting you out this bucket. I'm doing bad, you gonna do bad. Listen, I know I'm making light of it, but come on guys, y'all know that's what's out here. Let's be honest. Like I shared earlier at the beginning of the live, you got 67 to 70% of people living paycheck to paycheck. You got over 150 adult Americans with no retirement savings. You got 50% Americans don't have $1,000 in their savings account. That's where you want to be to try to fight through this to get to your freedom and not be over here with a group of people headed your direction that can put that financial love on you and give you best practices and encourage you when you have a bad day. I don't know. Y'all figure that one out. But for me and 600 other folks, we figured it out. But we would welcome more. Like I said, we're going to have 1,000 people in there by the end of the year. We're going to have 1,000 people or more. And we love as many as we can get because we're going to just continue growing this community and make it the largest community on the platform. And it's all going to be about financial freedom. It's all going to be about being selfless and not selfish. We're going to share best practices. None of us are going to try to be the expert, including me. Right? So if you want to be a part of that, get over there. So let's finish this thing up. You're going to need 3 months of very friendly inflation data to cut in September. This is what a chief economist just said. If they start easing or talk about easing more, I think they're going to complicate their own goals of getting inflation back to 2%. What they're saying there is you don't want to cut too early and too fast because you'll run inflation back up. So you got to have a careful plan. They call it soft landing, where you don't cripple the economy, right? You keep the economy growing, but you don't increase inflation while it grows. That's a soft landing. That's what the Fed would like to have happen. Soft landing. Inflation grows, economy grows, inflation goes down, right? We don't want the economy too red hot because inflation won't come down. We want it just right, but still bring inflation down, all right? So that's what he's talking about right here when he says, the Fed, they got to watch themselves because you don't want to screw this up, right? You don't want to screw this up. You do not want to screw this up. So durable inflation has kept the Fed on the sidelines. If you start easing or talking about easing more, I think they're going to complicate their own goal of getting inflation back to 2%. Durable inflation has kept the Fed on the sidelines since its last hikes in July 23. That's the last time they increased rates. At the March meeting, FOMC members indicated the likelihood that they could cut rates 3 times this year for a total of 0.75% points. But they are expected to amend that down to either 2 or even 1 reduction. In addition, committee members will update their projections on gross domestic product, GDP, growth, as well as inflation and unemployment, all of which could be influenced by CPI numbers. Economists expect the Fed to raise its projections for inflation and lower the outlook for broad economic growth as reflected by GDP. Though the Fed doesn't use the CPI as its main inflation indicator, like I told y'all earlier, they use PCE, consumer price something. I can't remember the last thing of it, but that's what they use more than the CPI. But the CPI is still a good indicator, right? Still a good indicator. Though the Fed doesn't use the CPI as its main inflation indicator, it still figures into the calculus. Policymakers focus more on the Commerce Department's personal consumption expenditures. My bad, guys. Personal consumption expenditures. I'm so used to just calling it PCE. Price index, a broader gauge that takes into account changes in consumer behavior. So there we go, man. There's your May CPI inflation report. Rather good. We beat on headline. We beat on core. What is our takeaway? Yeah, shelter costs are still sticky. It's still high. If we can get that thing down, we will get down to 2%. That has been the stubborn one. So gas prices came down slightly. Don't know how long they'll stay down. Y'all know that's up and down. That's why they take it out of core, right? Of course, we know automobile insurance year over year is about 20%, but it came down slightly month over month. That was good news. So all in all, man, I thought it was a great positive report. And it wasn't just me. You can look at the market, what the market's doing. They thought so too. Nvidia jumps up almost $5 a share instantly. That's all I'm telling you guys. So, you know, get yourself positioned. Please get yourself positioned so that, you know, you can take advantage of whatever opportunities that present themselves as we continue down this path of getting inflation to 2% and the Fed reducing rates. Get yourself around some type of phone or laptop or desktop or iPad or something to catch the Fed Chair Jerome Powell, his 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time press conference. I'm going to be dialed right in and listen to the whole thing. And then guess what I'm going to do? Tomorrow morning, I'm going to give you all my little take on it, right? I may probably even do a video this afternoon with a little snippet, and then we'll dive into the real thing tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time live stream. So let's talk a little bit about the Dow. The Dow jumps 200 points. S&P hits record. I keep telling y'all, man, I don't know what y'all waiting on, guys. I don't know what y'all waiting on, man. I don't know what you're waiting on. Dow jumps 200 points. S&P hits another record. Cool inflation data as Fed decision looms. Stocks jumped on Wednesday after inflation slowed in May, sending yields tumbling. They're talking about the U.S. Treasury, right? Like we mentioned earlier, when you see U.S. Treasuries tumble in interest rate, what does that mean? The flow of cash is going back to the stock market. That's what it means to me, at least. I'm no expert here, but yeah, I wasn't that good in math, but I know if yields are going down, that means somebody leaving. If they're going down, that don't mean people coming to it. They're going down, that means people are leaving. Up, they coming to. Down, people leaving. So that's all you got to do, guys. You ain't got to be a rocket scientist at this. You ain't got to be a trained analyst. It's just common sense, right? The more people come into something like an investment, it increases in value. It becomes more valuable. The more people leave that investment, it becomes less valuable. So if you just take that little bit right there, you'll go a long ways in this investing game, right? Assets going up, that means people are coming into it. Stock market, S&P going up through the roof, people coming into it. S&P goes down, people leaving, going somewhere else. As long as you remember that little tidbit, you'll do okay in the stock market thing. Because I get emails all the time. I'm just starting out. I got to learn everything. No, you don't, because I don't know everything. But I know that much. I know to look at the U.S. Treasuries, and if they're red, if they got a negative next to them and they're red, that means people leaving. If they're green with a little plus next to them, that means people coming in. Same thing with the stock market. If I see red, that means people leaving. If I see green, that means people coming. That's it. You know those two little right there, you're good. That you know everything you need to know about the stock market, in my opinion. I think you know everything you need to know if you know that little thing right there, that little pro tip. Then you know. So here's the thing. So when the stock market is red, Richard, do you buy when it's red? When people are leaving? Absolutely, I buy. That's the best time to buy for me. Why? Because I'm trying to build long-term wealth. I'm not trying to hit a short-term lick. I'm trying to build a long-term wealth. So when people leave great assets and it temporarily decreases the price of those great assets, why wouldn't I buy them? Especially when I know they're going back up to a premium in the green again at some point. So Nvidia, let's take Nvidia for a quick example. Let's say Nvidia, it's up today, right? It's up by $5 a share, almost. Well, Richard, it's up by $5 a share. Will you buy it in the green today? Absolutely. Why would you buy it in the green if it's up in the green? You shouldn't buy it in the green. Well, if you believe it's going to go greener, I buy in the green. I think it's going to get greener. I don't think it's going to stay at $125 a share. No, I think it's going to be $525 a share at some point. I think it's going to be $1,025 a share at some point. So just because it's in the green at 125 don't mean I don't buy. No, I do buy because I think it's greener. 3, 4, 5 years from now, it's going to be much greener. Well, golly, man, well, what happens if it goes in the red? If it goes from 125 to 115, it lost $10 a share. Why would you buy then? It's at a discount. What do you mean it's at a discount? Well, it traded at 125, but now it's at 115. There's nothing that happened in the company that's material. It's just the economy, the stock market, inflation, interest rates influenced it to go down. People did what? They took their money and went to U.S. Treasuries for a little bit. So that's a great time for me to buy it at a discount too, because I think it goes back green at some point. I just captured $10 per share stock price increase. I buy at 115, hold it, goes back to 125. I just captured $10 per share. How do you know it's going back to green? Well, I don't, but why wouldn't it? There's nothing that changed materially with the company. Still the second largest company in the world from a market cap standpoint. Still had triple digit growth for 4 quarters in a row. What's changed in one day? Nothing. Other than I can get rich. Buy it at 115, be patient, and keep holding it till it go green again. See, all I'm telling you guys is we ain't got to be experts at this thing. We just got to know some fundamental rules of building wealth. The fundamental rule of building wealth is you buy great assets, whether they're in the red or whether they're in the green, and you hold them long enough. History says they will be worth more when you hold them long enough than they are today. That's what history says. That ain't what I say. Look at the S&P 500. I'm just telling you guys, it ain't me, it's history. Go look at the S&P 500, what it was in 2008 at the last great financial crash. Go look at what the S&P was and look at what it is today. That's all I'm telling you. Now, had I bought in 2008, which I did, and I held it to 2024, how much money would I have made in that whatever period of time? What, 15 years, something like that? How much money would I have made? I guarantee you the S&P was probably down in what, 1,100, 1,500 points, something like that in 2008. Somebody in the chat throw that in there if you can find it on Google real quick. Find out what was the S&P in like 2008, 2009. Just trying to prove a point here without me having to try to look it up. Just go look and see what the S&P was at the last great financial downturn. What was the S&P 500 trading at in 2008, 2009? Let me look it up myself. This is what I try to get folks to understand. I'm gonna look it up myself. Oh, there you go. So here we go. Great Recession, 2008, 2009, the S&P peaked at 1,300 points in August of 2008. And then it fell to a low of 752 in 2009. Help me out. Somebody help me with the math, since the stock market never comes back, according to some people. So you mean to tell me in March of 2009, it was trading at $752 752 points, not dollars, points. It was trading at 752 points in 2009. And where are we at today? 2000 what? 24? Let me get my calculator because I'm not good with math. 2024 minus 2009. So that's 15 years. So in 15 years, it goes from 752 points to 54.59 in 15 years. Now somebody tell me what percentage is that? What percentage is that? Somebody tell me what percentage if you would have put your money in 2009 like I did. Just calculate it. Calculate what your return would have been over the last 15 years had you bought the S&P when it was at 752. Yeah, a lot. So all I'm telling you guys is, and like I said, my math ain't that good to figure all that out. I have to go through Google to figure it out. I don't want to spend no time doing that because I'm trying to get us out of here. But my point is, this is my point, guys. There is no greater time, man. I think the S&P 500 goes to 10,000 in the next 10 years. I think it will double. That's what I believe. You don't have to believe it, but this is what I believe, and that's why I invest in the S&P 500. I believe that. I believe a stock like Nvidia, for me as an investor, just a retail investor, I believe it will go from $120 a share to over $1,000 a share in the next 5 years. That's what I believe. Nobody else has to believe that. That's okay because it's my wealth plan. It's my journey. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But one thing I can promise you, at least for me, I can promise me this. It'll be worth more than $120 in 5 years. Okay, maybe it gets to $500 a share. Maybe it gets to $400 a share. Here's a little FYI. If Nvidia goes from, with the position that I got today, which is 2,630 shares at $120 a share. If it goes to $250 a share, guys, over the next 5 years, I'm gonna make $400,000. Do the math. So, you know, all this stuff people be talking about, I don't pay no attention to that, man. I've been doing this for 30 years, just like this. 30 years. That thing goes up to $250 a share in the next 5 years. I'm going to make $400,000 off one trade. Not including the S&P 500 stuff I got. Not including the FTEC stuff that I got. Not including the Magnificent 7 stuff that I invest in. Just Nvidia. It just needs to go up $100 a share over the next 5 years. And you're trying to tell me this stock won't do that? Come on, guys. This ain't even fair. This is easy money for me. I'm not saying for you. I'm not trying to tell you you need to buy Nvidia. I'm just telling you how my brain thinks. When I'm thinking about big boy blue chip assets, you don't get no better than Nvidia. Now, could the AI market shrivel up and die? Sure. But you know, Facebook could shrivel up and die. Amazon could shrivel up and die. Tesla could shrivel up. I mean, any company can. Walmart could shrivel up and die. That don't mean it's gonna happen. So we can be on both sides of this thing. Oh, they're gonna crash and burn. It's the .com bubble and all this other goofy stuff people be talking about. Okay, whatever. I go in the other direction on this thing because I know if I can get $100 a share out of this thing over the next 5 years, I'm gonna put $400,000 in the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So I'm good. I'm good. So I'm good. I'm good with those odds. I'm good with those odds of. I know I wanted to go to 1,000, but even if it just goes up $100 over the next 5 years, just do the math. I got 2,630 shares at $95 a share. That's my cost basis. My cost basis is $95 a share. This stock goes to 250 from where it is today. The split, when it's split at 120, If it goes to 240, let me do this real quick. Right? So if it goes to 240 times 2630, that's $631,200. What's my cost basis? 250. Yeah, that's about $400,000. So all I'm saying, guys, is, hey, listen, you ain't got to be a genius in this thing. You just got to chase great companies. You just got to pick great companies with a historical track record of performance. You don't need a lot of them. I don't have a lot of them, guys. I got an S&P 500 ETF. I got an information technology ETF. I got the Magnificent Seven, and I got Nvidia. That's it. 4 investments. That's it. I don't got 15, 20, 25 investments. I got 4 investments. All big boy, blue chip, historically proven. And that's where I put my money. So that's the wealth transfer blueprint that I'm on. And a lot of the folks that rock with me have variations of that. Because I've done the homework. Not that I'm their financial advisor, because I'm not. But I lay out a logical, see, if you take off your emotional thinking cap and put your logical thinking cap on, you will follow this thing. But people with the emotional thinking cap, they can't follow it. You got to think logically to follow what I'm talking about here, guys. You can't think emotionally and even follow what I'm talking about right now. So the people that are following me with their logical thinking cap on, they're like, golly, man, that just makes perfect sense. That doesn't mean I got to do it with these stocks, but I can just go that same formula. I can go find me other stocks with historical track records, figure out what they've delivered over the last 10 years. And that's a nice logical expectation. They may deliver that 10 years from now. But you got to put on your logical thinking cap and take your emotional thinking cap off in order for any of this to make sense. Right? Any of this to make sense, you got to put your logical thinking cap on. So all I'm telling you is figure out what your game plan is. This is one of the greatest opportunities in the last 15 years to really build some substantial wealth. I got one of the greatest companies in the world right now trading at $120 a share, $125 a share. There are a lot of people betting against this stock. It's about $35 to $38 billion in short positions on this stock. So there's a lot of people out there betting against it, but that's okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I'm going to bet for it, not against it. And we'll see. But I'm a big boy. If I get a L, it's my L. But boy, if I get that W, this thing go about $100 a share, guys. That's it. $100 a share. I'm gonna make 400 grand in less than 5 years. That's the game plan. Now, don't get me wrong. I wanted to go to 1,000, but see, you always do what? I always have an overachiever goal, and then I always have this is the bare minimum I need to make goal. That's how I roll. I give myself a let's hit it out of the park goal, which is 1,000 a share, but then I also build in something more reasonable. I'm always put that out of reach goal, but always build in something that's reasonable. The $100 a share over the next 5 years with the investment that I made is reasonable, and I still make 400. If it goes to 1,000, I make about 2.5 million. Just saying, guys. And again, I'm not telling you this because I think I'm some expert, because I'm not. I'm just telling you what I've been doing for 30 years to build my wealth, picking companies like this, picking ETFs, predominantly ETFs and index funds, where 80% of my money goes. The position that I got in Nvidia is not even, it's not even 20% of my net worth. It's not. So 80% of my net worth is in something else. 20%, less than 20% is in Nvidia. Less than 20%. So if it goes to zero, would that sting? Yeah, but it wouldn't end my whole world, because I don't put all my eggs in one basket. And I teach and tell people who rock with me not to put all their eggs in one basket. Spread them around. Go find other big boy blue chip, historically proven paper assets to put them in. Put them in real estate too. Put them in a business. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And I practice what I preach, because all of my eggs are not in one basket. They're spread around. And I think I'm safe the way I'm allocated, what my diversification is. See, I'm in a growth mode. I'm not in a income mode. I'm in a growth mode. Not with my investments. I'm just in a growth mode with my investments. My income mode is my 5 streams of income that I work every single day. That's my income mechanism. So I go out here and I earn this income from these 5 streams. I take the income, pay for some basic expenses, put money away in the emergency fund or the reserve fund, and then everything else, let it rip, tater chip. Let it rip, tater chip, right? So I earn this money, 5 streams of income, because I tell you guys, you need multiple streams of income. Some of you listen to me, some of you don't, but that's okay. I tell you, you need more than 1 stream of income. I have 5. So I get this income from these 5 streams. I pay for expenses. What are your expenses, Richard? My house, my 2 house. I got 2. I own 2 homes. I pay for the mortgages on those 2 homes. Why haven't you paid them off? Why would I? I got low interest rates on them. Why would I take money and put it in a dead asset that ain't gonna produce no income for me? Why would I do that? I wouldn't. I just put a loan on them at under, like, one of them's at 4.5%, one's at 3.65. Very low loan rates compared to what interest rates are today. So I just let them amortize, go ahead and pay the mortgage payment, write the interest off every year on my taxes, write the real estate expense, the real estate taxes off, portion of that on my taxes, right? So really, when you think about what I'm really paying for the properties, guys, when you have all the deductions associated with it from interest expense, real estate taxes, when you write that off compared to what the interest is, it's very nominal, guys. So then I take all that money I would have paid the property off that would have been just sitting in equity earning no income. I take that money and I put it in I let it rip, tater chip, right in the stock market. So the only expenses I have is the mortgages and then my regular stuff, you know, just my utilities. I don't owe anything on my cars. They're all paid for. I have no consumer debt, only mortgage debt. See, I practice what I preach on this YouTube channel and in my club, my membership club. I don't ask people to do things that I don't do. So if I'm asking you to live on less than what you make, that's because I live on less than what I make. If I'm asking you to live on a plan, that's because I live on a plan. I just gave it to you. I just gave you my plan. 5 streams of income, earn, pay my little bit of expenses, take advantage of all the deductions I can take to reduce my tax liability on my income, stay out of consumer debt, stay out of credit card debt, right? And then stash money away in the emergency fund, which I call my cash reserve, and then let it rip, tater chip with everything else. In the stock market, that's the plan. And I'm just gonna do that for the next 10 years. Am I taking a lot of vacations and all that stuff? No. I'm gonna take 1 vacation. That's gonna be with my younger daughter. Sometime in July, we're gonna take a little vacation and enjoy it. But other than that, baby, I'm back to work. I'm back to work because why? I got something I gotta get done. I can do all that leisure activity and all that other stuff when I'm at that pot of gold. Once I open that pot of gold up and I've accomplished what I set out to accomplish, then I can go vacations and all that other stuff. Right now, it's grind. It's grind because I know this opportunity right here ain't gonna last. And over these next 10 years, I gotta capture it because see, I have my master plan is, you know, triple the net worth, you know, live out the rest of my life and then pass on a legacy to my kids. Right? That's what I want. I pretty much had all the stuff that I want, guys, Over the last 30 years, these last 4 years, I bought all the cars that I want. Now, will I still buy cars? Yeah, because that's just my personal enjoyment. But all the other stuff that don't appeal to me, right? Doesn't appeal to me. I used to have a lot of watches, luxury watches, when I was in the flipping business. I just don't, that doesn't appeal to me right now. I don't need any of that stuff. I'm just look how I look. I'm just a regular guy. I ain't got no suit on. I ain't clean shaven. I ain't, I'm just a regular guy on here just trying to tell you, you can be whatever you want to be if you build assets and you get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. My way ain't the only way. There's many ways out there. But the point is, you got to find your way. You got to find out what's important to you. Right? And that's what these 600 people in my mentorship club have decided. They've decided what's important to them. They've decided that financial freedom is one of the top priorities. It ain't their only priority, just like it's not my only priority. My number one priority is my relationship with Jesus Christ and God. That's my number one priority in my life. My second priority in this life is my children, my family. The third priority in my life are these people who I'm helping to get to wealth. That's the third priority in my life. Fourth priority is getting to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. See, here's the thing. If I do the first three well, getting to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is going to be the easy one. See, if you have a relationship like I do with my Creator, if you have a relationship with your family, that's going to put you in a better state of mind. That's my opinion, guys. That doesn't go across the board. My opinion, it puts me in a better state of mind when I have a good relationship with my children, which I do. And then number three, if I help enough people get what they want, ultimately, I get what I want, which is number four, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So that's my mandate for what I do every day when I wake up, guys. It's those are my four priorities in life. It's not partying. It's not all this other stuff people do. More power to them. Those are the only four priorities I have in my life right now. God, family, the people that I'm trying to help to get to freedom, and that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. In that order. So get you some clarity in your life, guys. Prioritize what's important to you. And hopefully it's not money, because money is not going to make you happy. Money is just a tool, right? It's just a bridge to get you somewhere that can make you happy. That's all money is. It can't make you happy, right? So all I'm telling you guys is figure out what's important to you, prioritize them, use this information that I gave you today to help you get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. If you want help doing that, you don't want to be out here on the fringes, kind of on your own hanging out here with no resources, go to my website, www.richardfain.net. Second link down in the description box. Go on that website and you're going to see something that says join here or membership. Click on it. Get yourself over in the private mentorship club, right? Join the private mentorship club where you can have access to myself and the rest of the family, and just immerse yourself in it, right? I know some of y'all are really reserved. You don't really like to say nothing, but I'm telling you guys, you get out of it what you put into it. That's how it goes, guys. If you put nothing into the club, if you don't put nothing in, if you don't contribute nothing, you get nothing. It's just the truth with life. If you don't contribute nothing, you get nothing. So if you want to be over here with us, you got to come over here and contribute and participate and loosen up and allow people to be a part of your financial journey. If you're not willing to do that, it's not going to be a good experience for you. It's not. Right? It's not, we don't do anything fancy over there other than just encourage one another and be there for one another. And everybody contributes. Well, some people don't, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm just encouraging people, if you're going to come over there, participate, because I'm an old believer in whatever you put into something is what you get out of it. So if you expect something great to happen, put something great in. Put something great in if you expect something great out. Is that fair? Or am I missing something? Isn't that life? Am I missing something? If you expect something great to come out of it, put something great in. Just saying. Just think about it. Hey guys, appreciate you. I'm getting ready to wind this thing up. Get down in the description box, click on that Moomoo link if you want to get yourself 5 free stocks when you put $100 in your brokerage account. If you want 15 free stocks, you put $1,000 in your brokerage account. And then you're going to be ready to buy paper assets just like I talked about to hopefully help you get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Now, if you want me to send you some Moomoo tutorial videos, I've been doing this a long time. If y'all want me to send you some Moomoo tutorial videos, click on the link down below for the website and send me an email through the website and say, hey, Richard, I opened my Moomoo account. I put my money in there. I want to get those tutorial videos so I can learn how to use this brokerage app. And then I also want your wealth building blueprint 1.0, 2.0 so that I know what you're buying. And that way, if I want to copy that, I can. I don't have to. But I'd like to just know what you're doing. And then I'm going to send you that information ASAP. I promise you. If you send me that email through my website that you signed up for the Moomoo brokerage app, I'll go ahead and send you that information to make it easier for you to learn how to use the app. And then obviously you'll know what I'm buying. So you'll know the ticker symbols and all that stuff just in case you decide you want to go down that path. Of course, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can, right? You can pick your own stuff. But we talked about what you're looking for when you're picking this stuff. You're looking for big boy blue chip with historical track record of multiplying money. Just like the exercise I took you through with the S&P 500, where it was trading at 752 points back in March of 2009. Today, it's hovered around 5,400 points. So it goes from less than 1,000, 15 years now, less than 1,000 points to what? 5 times that. 5 or 6 times more than what it was 15 years ago. That's how you make money, guys, in the stock market. If you'd have been invested over that period of time, you'd have 5 or 6x your money. Just saying, right? Just saying. So think about that as you decide whether you want to open up the Moomoo brokerage account. Think about that. If you do, like I said, get down in the description box, click on the link. Open up your Moomoo brokerage account today. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money. And then send me an email through my website, www.richardfain.net. Ask me for those tutorial videos and my 2 blueprints so we can get you off to a fast start. And then get yourself over and join the Mentorship Club so you can get this financial love and be around a group of people who are going in the same direction you going so that you can have some encouragement and some, you'll have access to me and the other 600 members, right? So that's the sweet spot. You get what you put in. If you put a lot in, you get a lot out. You put a little bit in, you get a little bit out. So that's up to you, right? Well, appreciate y'all, man, rocking with me on this Wednesday. I lose track of the days. Wednesday, June 12th. Great CPI inflation report that came out this morning, which we covered in detail. And getting ready for the Federal Reserve Chairman this afternoon at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm hoping he is dovish, and they got great news, because if you think the S&P went up this morning, be looking out for it this afternoon if we come out with good news, the Fed chair. It's going to go higher. It's going to go higher. I don't know how high it'll go, but it will go higher in my opinion if he comes out with good news. So be on the lookout for that one. Let me do another temperature check on my favorite individual stock in the world, which is Nvidia right now. 125.67, up $4.76, up almost 4% today. Nice little cha-ching. Nice little cha-ching. Nice little net worth growth. $95 a share, up to almost $126 a share on 2,630 shares. Nice little cha-ching, right? Nice little cha-ching for your boy for doing what? Execute. Nice little cha-ching. I'll take it. I'll take it. I will take it. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. If you don't have an opportunity to watch the Fed chair, I'll take you through all the mechanics. I'll have the Cliff Notes tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So just tap back in, plug in tomorrow, and you can get the Cliff Notes, because he'll probably speak for about 45 minutes to an hour. I won't have all of that, but I'll have the Cliff Notes according to my little notes, right? I'll give you the Cliff Notes tomorrow if you miss the Fed chair this afternoon. So yeah, man, have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Do something nice for somebody, and then do something nice for yourself. No money involved. Just do something nice for somebody, and then you do something nice for yourself. And like I said, get down to the description box and take advantage of those links that I got down there for Moo, the website to join the mentorship club, and then take advantage of following me on Instagram through my link down in the description box. Be careful on Instagram for impersonating Richard Fain scammers. Just be careful when you go over to Instagram, okay? Because they're there. And they will try to slide in your DMs and pretend they're me, but they're not. Because I'm never going to just slide in your DMs unannounced. The only way you get a DM from me is when you DM me first. I don't slide into people's DMs. So right off the bat, you know that's a lie, because I don't do that. Right? I don't do that. I don't slide into people's DMs. Oh, hey, how you doing? You want to send me $2,000 so I can put in Apex? And just listen. Don't fall for it on Instagram, all right? But still, if you want to follow me, get down in the description box and click on that link. Well, thank you guys. Lock it in with a thumbs up before you get out of here. I'm getting ready to do a few other things. It's been raining like crazy here in Southwest Florida for the last 2 days. So I've been kind of shut up in the house. Can't even really go out on the patio or do anything because it's raining all day. So, hey, man, hopefully it'll stop raining and I can get out and get a little bit of the world in and get myself back here and get busy this afternoon in the mentorship club. So I spend a lot of time in the mentorship club when I'm not on YouTube. So that's where I do all my mentoring at. I don't do any mentoring on Instagram. I don't do no mentoring on out of the YouTube comments, or it's all in the private mentorship club. So if you want to be mentored by me, that's where you got to get it at. So take that in consideration. Well, thank you guys. Thoughts become things. See it in your mind. Hold it in your hands. You guys can keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.